What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Let's play Crash Bandicoot 2 Part 6. We are now beginning level 15, Unbearable. This is the last level in the third warp room and the last chase-themed level for this game, and definitely the hardest level because of a certain hidden section that is later on in the game that requires you to have at least one mask. But sadly, in this game, you cannot have any masks while going through the chase levels, even if you bring one in, like I just did. Unlike the chase levels in Crash 1, where you could, you can't miss one. And you can see here those are fences, and these lizards, they will also be added through here. The fences are fine. You can either spin through them, or I believe you can slide through them. Yeah, you can slide through them if you want to. I just prefer spinning through them, but if you want to, of course you can. The speed pads do return here. Thankfully there's not a section where you need to have a whole bunch of speed pads like in the other two chase levels, so you don't really have to worry about that. But there are a lot more of these mines littered around, which can actually get in your way a lot more than they would in other levels. And I can see there Crash was looking backwards while you were running. Alright, so what you want to do here is, you can see these three planks are still here. Well, if you go down this hole, it will take you to an underground section where you can go after a few more boxes while you're down here. Now this is actually pretty difficult, and you do have to have at least one mask while going through here. Sadly, you cannot, as I said before, you cannot bring a mask into this. This makes it a lot more difficult. You have to try to keep the masks that you have, that you get through this section. There are 3 masks that you can potentially get while going through here, so it's not too difficult. The game does give you masks, but it's kind of hard to keep them, especially as you go along. You can see here there are some hunters that will shoot at you. You have to dodge the bullets, jump over holes, dodge over some turtles through this first section, and then as you go on, they will add more and more difficult things. The biggest problem here is the buzzsaw turtles, which can get in your way, which is always very difficult. Now here, this is the second mask, by the way, but up here there are 2 boxes that you want to get. They're right beside each other, and if you, there's one fruit there if you want to go after it. But you have to make sure that you go back and get this box. A lot of people forget about that arrow crate box, and they won't go after it. And so they'll go through the level, and they'll end up missing one box, which is pretty bad. You don't want to have to go through this level more than once if you don't have to. Now, if you notice there was an armored armadillo. All you have to do is to take the armor away. Wow, I didn't expect that to work. Use the body slam on the armor to make the armor go away, and then you can get into it like that. Then you can you'll knock the armor away. Then you can fight it, or kill it like you normally would. I've never actually went through here with 3 masks before, which if you don't, it makes it a lot well, I guess it's not that useful going through there, but it is actually pretty difficult, that last section, if you don't have a mask. And now the effects of the mask still seem to be going on. I'm still running as fast as I normally would be with the mask, even though it wasn't on my face. If you notice, Crash was flashing, which is very, I'm glad that they added that in here. And if you notice, there was a nitro exclamation box before you going into this bonus round. It's really up to you whether you want to hit that before or after. If you don't hit it before, this will be a little bit more difficult, just because sometimes if you don't jump high enough, and then you may hit the nitros sometimes. It's not really something that you have to worry about, hitting the nitros, but it is something that that is an option, whether if you want to get the nitros or not. But anyway, so this last section I guess this isn't the last section. This is actually the second of 3 chase sections. But if you notice there, I did lose my mask, so that you can't keep the mask even if you keep it while going through here. The boxes are the same. You don't have to go after any of the boxes. So if you want to try to gain some time by not going after the boxes, that that will definitely help you out, because the bear will destroy all the boxes anyway. I think he did anyway. I don't see why I don't see why they wouldn't. Yeah, okay, so he did destroy those 2 boxes that I had missed. Those are the last 3 boxes, so you can see there are 58 boxes, but you still have to go through this last section, which is a lot of electric fences. There are 2 sections that have electric fences. Now, they're not too hard to dodge, just have to kind of anticipate where they are and then turn to dodge them. And then you can go through here, and there you go. Like I said, 58 boxes. We got the box, gem, and the crystal. And now what I would like to do is I would like to use the slide to go over this gap, and then you can run back through here where you just was on the bear. But you can only go up to where Polar is. All you have to do is just walk near Polar or walk on top of him, and then you'll be transported to the second warp room, where you will go into, where you'll have the ability to go into level 26 of Totally Bear. And if you notice, this warp gate covers up Intensity Island. So just like with the Insanity Island, if you want to get a good look at it, you should do it while going into level 7, or after you went through level 7 and unlocked the secret sections to Snogo. And now you can see here the last Polar, or I guess the last riding level. And this one is pretty difficult because, as you can tell, it's during the night, and you can only see tiny. Well, your field of vision is pretty short just because of the light that follows you around. And there are some gaps where you have to charge and then jump to be able to get the boxes and to be able to make it over the holes, like here and right at the start. And those are actually, you have to kind of get the timing down to be able to hit it. Those 2 boxes that I just got, you have to jump around the behind the totem pole, or you won't be able to get to them. And so, a lot of the time you'll just, oh wow, I'm surprised that didn't actually kill me. But yeah, you'll just run. Well, that stinks. You'll just be running through here pretty much blind and not being able to see exactly where you need to go, and you can end up missing boxes pretty easily. I don't know. Usually, don't have that much trouble with that box. There we go. Oh wow. I definitely don't care much for Totally Bear myself. But anyway. So yeah, there's really not that much else. There's just a lot of, I think there's 3 big holes that you have to jump over by using the charge first before getting up there. And if you run back here, there's nothing down here, so you really don't have to worry about going back down there unless you want to see what it looks like. But there are 40 boxes for this level. There is only a gem for this level, which is a box gem, so you don't have to worry about missing a crystal or going after any hidden boxes or hidden gems or anything like that. And then it takes you to the 3rd warp room, where you can see right in front of Unbearable. And then now Cortex will say something again.
Rash, my boy, you are more than halfway there. But I'm sure you've noticed that things are getting harder. The last 10 crystals will be the hardest to gather. And my enemies will be sending their strongest forces to fortune. I'll contact you again when you have completed the next one.
Alright, so now, let me see how I can position this right now. If you look right behind Crash, you'll see the gem that I just got. You can see it up there at the top of on the roof. That's just something that not a lot of people know about, because they really don't know to look for it, but that's the gem that we got from Totally Bear. Now you can see here, this is Tiny Tiger. This is his first appearance as well. And if we pause it right here, you can see Taz Tiger. For whatever reason, has been left unchanged. In the final version, you can see his name is clearly Tiny right there, at the top right of the top left of the screen where his hit points are. And for whatever reason, it was left like that, where, you know, his name being Taz Tiger. But anyway, so you can see, all you have to do is just stay away from him, so he doesn't crush you, and then force him to fall down a hole. Once the platforms that you're standing on fall out from underneath you, you cannot hurt him any other way, but he can hurt you. He can crush you. Yeah, that's pretty much all he can do, as long as you don't touch him. Now, oh, wow! Surprised I made that one, to be honest. You can see he will fall off the platforms. That is the hardest one, the last set of platforms, because they're, you know, all of them will fall except for one, and it's always random whenever you play the boss fight. So you have to kind of know ahead of time which one it will be. And as I said, because they are random, you know, there's really no way you can tell what they'll be. But anyway, so now we'll go in. Now we see we are here in the 4th warp room. Where was this at? I think this is supposed to be in the ruins of Cortex Castle, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure exactly where you're supposed to be at here, but you know, I will talk about that once I get to the once I talk about the trivia and everything. I'm pretty sure you're either supposed to. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to be in Cortex or on Cortex Island somewhere, even though it looks like it should be on the volcano, or in or around the volcano on Intensity Island. It's supposed to be on Cortex Island, around Cortex's castle. Have to make sure that you're far enough away from the toxic barrels before they before you try to spin anything, or you will take damage and you'll die. So you'll have to be careful about that. But anyway, the hardest portion through this section is just trying to dodge the scrubbing bubbletrons and trying to make sure you don't hit the barrels at the same time, and can't get really close up to Crash just yet, but there is one section where you can see Crash really close. I believe that's in level 18. Wow, didn't think I would be able to make it through there. And if you see here, you can pull your tuck your feet up underneath. You can press the circle button to tuck Crash's feet up underneath him, so that you can see, so that you can dodge enemies that are flying around Crash's feet, which you won't see just yet. We'll see later on. And you can see the backs of these flying things are red, so they will hurt you, and the tops and bottoms of them are spiky. So that's how that means. That shows you how, or the different areas where you cannot hurt them at. There, as I said, there is no way to hurt them unless you have a mask on your face. And even then, I'm not 100% sure if you can hit them. And now you can see they are getting harder, or they're going faster as you go along. And then their speed will increase. You have to be a lot faster and time your moves just right as you are going along through here. These are not that difficult to dodge. You just have to wait for them to go to the bottom. And yeah, this is the last sewer level. But it's really not the hardest. I would say the hardest would probably be, well, I don't know, because this has a hidden section as well that will lead you to the 6th warp room. No, I'm sorry. Actually, yeah, it will lead you to the 6th warp room. And now, the way you do that is you have to come back here and drop down that hole. But I don't want to do that just yet. I would like to go ahead and go after the box gym. And that's going to be a pain to do, but I'll talk about that once I get to it. Now, this bonus round is not too difficult, if I remember correctly. I was about to say, where'd my mask go? The biggest thing is these nitro crates here. All you have to do is just jump over these. Oh yeah, the boxes here that you have to jump on to be able to, pass through here. Now I suggest jumping across the tops of these, or the top ones first, so that you don't die. and you have to be careful because that one on the far left will break as soon as we hit it. Okay, I'm sorry, I was just counting the bounces. Want to make sure that I don't fall through here, but I'm close enough to the side so when it breaks, I can get to it. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, so you can actually get 110 Wumpa Fruit through there. I just didn't get those last few pieces because I missed the because I had missed the position where I was supposed to be on the boxes. That is actually one of the top 5 levels that you can get a whole bunch of Wumpa Fruit out of. Once you get crap, I should have stayed on that thing. But, you know, it works. And if I die through here, I can just, I would just go back to where I need to be. Because as I said, you will already have the gem while going through here. I mean, if you die, you'll still keep the gem. But that's why you want to clear out all the enemies ahead of time, just so that you don't have to worry about it. Of course, the barrels you can't destroy, but they're not that difficult. As long as you take it slow and easy going through that section, you shouldn't have any trouble with them. And you can see Crash up close. You can see, just how he looks and everything. But there is one more level that we will see, level 18, where you can see not quite as good as there, but it is pretty good. And you can see here why you need to tuck your feet up underneath Crash, and you can see there are about 5 lives going through here. So if you do have trouble going through this section, at least this section, you can gain some lives, but this is the most tedious one, and I don't know. I always tuck my feet up underneath him there, just to be safe. But I don't think you actually have to. I don't think he'll be able to hit you once you get so far ahead. All right, so here we are at level 27, Totally Fly. You see, time-wise, I guess I'll go ahead and do this level. It shouldn't hurt anything. This is kind of a long level, but it does have it only has a box gym with it as well. You can see here Crash is dark, just darker than you normally would be, because this is the first Firefly level, and the Firefly is a something that was used the Firefly kind of works the same as the masks did in Crash 1. Except they will stay with you for a certain amount of time, just like the masks would. Except the Fireflies don't actually protect you from taking damage. So if you do take damage, you will die or lose a mask as you're going along through here. And the thing that you have to really worry about is the Firefly, because these levels are a little bit more dangerous than, say, like Lights Out or Fumbling in the Dark, because as you can see here, there are so many pits everywhere, and you have to always, you have to be pretty fast while going through here just to be able to keep up with the Firefly's light. You can see here the Firefly will, instead of you getting the Firefly and then having to keep up with it, it will actually follow you throughout the entire bonus round. You can see here it will leave you here, but there's nothing dangerous here for you to kill yourself on. So it's not that it's not too bad going through there, and that actually looks pretty cool, especially with the glow from the water. But the level by itself is actually pretty difficult. There will be another Firefly level that we will have to do later on. Okay, now this is the bad section. If you look up ahead to where the Firefly is, you will see some of these locked or metal crates that you have to use the. I think there's one more. Yeah, I was gonna say there should be one more around here. And all you have to do is just spin, and they will make a certain noise. And I'll see if I can get one here. Now there's one here. Maybe that's just the edge of the path. Now, if you listen to this noise, All you have to do is just spin into the dark, and if you listen to that noise, and then you'll be able to see it, and you'll be able to get any boxes that you may not have seen. This one is always the one that most people will leave and forget about. Now you have to be very quick, because the Firefly will leave you pretty quickly. And as you saw, that was one big hole, and there's really nowhere you can be safe while going through there. And you can save that Firefly if you want to. 44 boxes. You can either take it all the way in here. There's no reason to, really. And you can just save it. You know, you may want to save that Firefly in case you miss some boxes back behind you, even though it won't last for very long. It'll last from about the time that you get the Firefly to when you go through the warp door and leave the level. But anyway, so now I'm going to go ahead and in the video I'll talk about the trivia and everything like I normally do, and then I'll go ahead and end the video, because these two levels here, Digging It and level 17 and Cold Hard Crash level 18 are pretty long, and those very well may take up to two videos or those will be just two levels in one video, just because they are so long. And so that's why I won't try to do any more in this video. But anyway, I'll just get Crash up so where you can see him. See, yeah, the fourth warp room is supposed to be in the ruins of Cortex Castle. I don't know why. Like I said, it looks more like it should belong in the volcano rather than the ruins of Cortex Castle, because that looks like there's lava down there. But, you know, whatever. Alright, so we'll go to Unbearable, Crystal, 1 gem, Clear, 58 boxes. Enemies are Giant Bear, Electric Fence, Wood Fence, Spring Mine, Lizard, Spike, Turtle, Blade Turtle, and the Hunter. Lab Assistant. Unbearable is the 15th level in Crash Bandicoot 2. This level follows the premise of a previous chase Crash Dash. This time around, though, Crash will be chased by a giant polar bear while running through a snow-covered jungle. A level design. Unbearable takes place in a jungle that is covered with snow. In this level, Crash will be constantly pursued by a giant polar bear. The vicious polar bear will chase Crash throughout the level, in which Crash must avoid the ferocious beast at all costs. While running away from the bear, Crash must watch out for various pits and obstacles. Most of these obstacles will leave the giant bear unscathed, so they will only remain a threat. They'll only remain a threat for Crash. In certain parts of this level, Crash will come across large tunnels that will protect Crash from the giant polar bear. The tunnels will render the polar bear immobile, but Crash will usually come across a different polar bear waiting at the end of the tunnel. In one point of the level, Crash can find a secret route by jumping into a pit that the giant polar bear falls into. By doing this, Crash will come across a new section of the level that includes additional crates and new enemies. After the last tunnel, the final chase involves riding Polar at a speed higher than usual. At its end, Polar throws Crash over a giant pit where the last giant polar bear falls into. That pit can be jumped across again from the other side. By doing so and reversing a bit of the track, Crash will find Polar sitting. If Crash stands in front of him, a secret warp will be activated. Another portal in the 6th warp room will be revealed. Trivia. The polar bears in this level can be touched when they are stuck in the passage, and Crash won't be hurt. This level is like Frostbite Cavern from Crash Bandicoot The Huge Adventure. The only reason why it's the same is because those giant polar bears are in the game. And Unbearable is possibly derived from the word unbearable, which is a word to describe someone that is too much to handle or hard to be around. Alright, so we will go to Tiny. The only enemies here are Tiny and the falling platforms. Alright, so Tiny appears as the third boss sent by Embryo to prevent Crash from gathering the crystals for Cortex. A door bearing Tiny's face will appear, soon bashed open by Tiny himself. After a vicious roar, he will jump into a room with 9 green platforms, and the fight will begin. Tiny will jump from platform to platform, following the player, and the player must avoid him. The player must lure Tiny toward a red platform to win the fight, since when a platform turns red, it falls. Once Tiny falls 3 times, the boss fight is won by the player. If Crash and Tiny land on the same platform, the player loses life and must start the boss fight over again. See if there's any trivia for the boss fight. And nope, didn't figure there would be. Alright, we'll do... I guess I forgot to do Totally Bear. Totally Bear, 1 gym, clear, 40 boxes, enemies, totem pole, lifters, and the orcas. Totally Bear is the 26th level in Crash Bandicoot 2, the first of 2 original secret levels in the game. It is unlocked by finding the secret warp out of Unbearable. This level forces Crash to once again ride his underage bear acquaintance, Polar, and Bear. It was during the day in Bear Down. It was evening, and now on Totally Bear it is night, making it harder for the player because you cannot see that much farther ahead. Trivia: unlike the rest of the levels in the 6th warp room and the other secret paths in this game, the music is exactly the same as the other Bear levels in the main warp room rather than a remix of it. This level's name could be a sly pun on Mattel's popular and famous Totally Hair Barbie, which sold extremely well in the years prior to this game's release. For some reason, this level is pitch black, and yet Crash doesn't need fireflies to see, unlike a Night Fight and Totally Fly, the other secret level, probably due to light following Crash and Polar all the time. Alright, so we'll do Hanging Out, Crystal, 1 gym, clear, 93 boxes. Enemies are the Eel, Fan, Flamethrowing Scientist, Rolling Toxic Waste Can, Spike Rat, Scrubbing Bubbletron, Hovering Spiketron. Hanging Out is the 16th level in Crash Bandicoot 2. It is the 3rd and final sewer level in the game. Unlike its predecessors, it predominantly focuses on forcing Crash to navigate wire meshes that's suspended above red-hot pipes and generally avoid Brio's horrible steam-powered hover Spiketrons. If the player turns around and heads backward at the final checkpoint, they'll find a hole in the ground containing a short mesh path through lava-flooded ruins. Particularly speedy versions of the hover Spiketrons patrol in this area, but by pulling his feet up using the crouch button, he can avoid them and pick up a few extra lives and even find a secret warp to the 6th warp room, unlocking Totally Fly. Alright, that's all the information about that. Now I'll talk about Totally Fly. 1 gym, clear, 44 boxes. Enemies are the hollow projectors, possum, and the frilled lizard. Totally Fly is the 27th level in Crash Bandicoot 2. Is the 2nd of 2 original secret levels in the game, unlocked by finding the secret warp out of Hanging Out. Similar to Night Fight in the 5th warp room, it is a jungle level taking place in the pitch blackness of night, requiring Crash to navigate with the assistance of numerous fireflies. This level is decidedly hard, however, thanks to more hazardous placement of TNT and nitro crates and one notable section in which the player is essentially required to blindly clear out a bunch of locked crates before picking up a firefly, or else it simply won't last long enough to get them to the next one. Crash can find locked crates by spinning as soon as he hears a clank from the crates. The bonus round features a slight change of firefly mechanics, as instead the player must keep up with the firefly flying along a predetermined path. JV, this level's name could be a sly reference to the popular slang phrase from the 1970s, that's Totally Fly, referring to something that is cool, good, or otherwise generally favorable. Last but not least, the name Totally Fly is probably made up to show it's related to Totally Bear, the other secret level. Alright, so that's all the trivia and everything for the levels that I've done. So I thank you for watching. The challenge of the video is how many times did Tiny jump in the entire boss fight. I thank you for watching. Next time we will be doing level 17 and 18. I'll try to fit level 19 in if I can. I don't know for sure, but I'll try. So until then, later everyone.